Hey, how's it going, guys? Sean from Team Honey Badger here. I have to bring you guys a deck profile to my updated Galaxy Blaukluger Stride deck, which is the deck I've been looking forward to for so long, because as you know, it was my first deck, and this is actually approaching 3 years on the channel, and as you go way back, the first video on this channel was a Galaxy Blaukluger deck profile. So I thought it's only fitting for the 3rd anniversary, around that time we do this deck profile, and I wanted to get this out as soon as possible because, as most of you know, this is my favorite deck, and yeah, I really can't wait to show you guys it. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. So, the starter, we play the best card in the deck, Morganrot. So, Morganrot, what he does is, for those of you who don't know, because there's a lot of new Blau players with the recent support, you counterblast one, and when your Blau Vanguard attack hits, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add any Blau card to your hand. Now that more than half of this deck is Blau, it becomes a lot more viable. See, before it used to be like this thing of a card in the deck is Blau. Now, this amount of cards in the deck is Blau. So that's over half the deck that's Blau. With Morganrot just becomes way more consistent and a lot better for the deck, and being Blau's being very versatile, it's always nice to play some other options. So since Blau's got basically their own stride fodder, which I'm going to go into that a little bit later, and etc, etc. So yeah, that's Morganrot. And for the triggers, this shouldn't surprise anybody. I'm playing 12 crits because this deck is one of those hyper aggressive decks that you have to go in really hard. I really like the 16 critical version, which is what I play when I played this deck online. But I'm liking the heals again because I really like the new G Guardian Nova's got. But if you're playing the 16 crit version, I will definitely post a video of that sometime and show you how I'd run it. It's definitely not going to be much different, but it's worth taking a look at. And of course, you have your 4 heals. Regenbogen, gotta stick with the classics. So, on to the grade 1s. We're starting out with 4 of the Blau PG. So, one of the Blaus that could be searched with Morganrot, something fell, is the Blau PG. So, with the Blau PG being able to search with the Morganrot being able to search the Blau PG, you're able to get like consistent defense to your hand now that perfect guards are becoming more and more important. And with the effect of being able to block the rear guards, it definitely helps out sometimes in those matchups because there is a rear guard in this deck worth protecting. And yeah, that's all I have to say about the Blau PG. And it's awesome. Definitely has. I like this art better than the new art. No matter what you say, this guy looks, bam, he's like blocking something. I don't think the new art looks that cool. And then we are playing one of the new Blau cards. So, one Neptune Blaukluger. For those of you who don't know what he does, he's basically Blau's version of a stride fodder, but he's a little bit more late game focused. So when you have a grade 3 Blau in your soul, you don't have to have a Blau Vanguard. Just keep that in mind if you're like playing Ashura or something like that. When you're playing the cost for Stride, he gets grade +2, so kind of like Airshid. And then when he's discarded for Stride, you call him from the drop zone to rear guard. So that's why I say he's a little bit more late game focused, because you need to done some plays before you could activate it. I only like him at 1, just for that reason, because you need to have break ridden or cross ridden. Well, we don't do cross rides in this deck, but just for that reason, I'm keeping him at 1. And I'm keeping Extreme Battler Airshid at 4, just so I can consistently stride in this deck, because striding wins you games. I can't wait to see what the Nova Grappler GB8 does, and just to consistently stride, to consistently win. And then another tech card is Claydol Chariot. I like this card a lot. Definitely deletes the purpose for running decent number of Claydol Mechanic with that in the G-Guard. And I didn't cover this earlier, but Red Lightning could go to the soul and unflip a damage, kind of like Claydol Chariot. So these two kind of have synergy together, because you could Soul Blast 2 with Claydol Chariot, counter charge 2. Novas didn't have one of those yet, which is one of the things I really look forward to. And now that he's out, you could really only afford to play one, because if you're really smart with the counterblast in this deck, your counterblast shouldn't be a problem. Like when you want to activate effects. And yeah, that's pretty much it for him. And next, 3 Venus Blaukluger. He's the main booster you want on your rear guards. So what he does is GB1, when your rear guard stands due to an effect of your Vanguard with Blau in its name. So the stud unit doesn't have to be Blau, but for the sake of this deck, all of the grade 2s and 3s in this deck are Blau. And you could stand him, and he gains plus 3,000. So definitely no more Polar Stern, the 10k attacker. It's a decent trade-off, I think, to run this, because this card is really, really nice in this deck. Especially even on the Mon, when you break ride, you could restand him, and you could activate his effect. He'll still gain the 3k. So yeah, he becomes a 10k booster. It's pretty awesome. And then next for the grade 2s, more Blaus that you could search out. Start off with the basics. We are playing 4 Blaukluger. I know some people are taking them out and running the 10k Vanillas, or this bad card. Hold on, I have it right here. Saturn Blaukluger. So Saturn Blaukluger I don't think is that good, because with the original Blaukluger, you're in combination with Mars Blaukluger, you're able to get off multiple effects off one counterblast, which is one of the things why this deck was kept alive. And Saturn Blaukluger, all he does is you discard a card to give him plus 5k, and your Vanguard gains 5k. Which I don't think is worth the trade-off for the discard one, even though you can have some dead cards in your hand. But Mars Blaukluger being able to counterblast one and restand himself to gain 5k, definitely really awesome. So you could counterblast. Blaukluger's effect is on the Vanguard circle. You unflip a damage. Counterblast one using Morgenrot skill, unflip it with Blaukluger, and then counterblast the counterblast you just unflipped to restand Mars. And then lastly, we have for Uranus Blaukluger. So Uranus Blaukluger has probably the best. He's honestly the MVP of the grade 2s. So what he does for his effect is, when your Blau unit is placed on Vanguard by riding or striding, so keep that in mind, he could be on the field when you're grade 2, he gets plus 5,000 power. So that's already good. And in combination with a break ride stride, if you do that twice, he's gaining 10,000 power. Not including triggers, so he's 19 by himself. So with anything, he'll hit above 21. And the effect of Counterblast 1, when your Blau Vanguard attack hits a Vanguard. Actually, no. When your Vanguard attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit. So he's like a Mars, Pseudo Mars. He has the Mars effect built into him, but has some requirements. But I like to run him at 4 just because he could be a powerhouse late game. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Only thing I remember from biology. And that's what Uranus Blaukluger is. So, on to the grade 3s. This shouldn't be a surprise. I'm starting out, I'm taking in 1 Valmont Blaukluger. If you're playing the 16 crit deck, I like this card at 4, along with Galaxy, just for the sheer fact that it can restrict your opponent from guarding. After you've rushed them to a high damage count early, being able to just prevent them from using perfect guards is really, really good. And when your Blau unit attack hits, I went over this in the Mail Day video, the Vanguard, you could Soul Blast 1 card with Blau in the same. So now that we have a lot of Blaus, it's not that hard to do. And Countercharge 1. So he's okay, he's a nice one of tech. Definitely, if the game's going to go a little bit longer, I definitely like to just ride him on top of Mon. And next, speaking of Mon, we play 3 Mon Blaukluger, so we should know what he does by now. When your Nomographer unit break rides on top of this unit, your Vanguard gains plus 10k power, and the skill of when it attacks a Vanguard, you counterblast 1, stand all your rear guards. So this has the synergy with, this one doesn't have as much synergy with Galaxy as Valmont, but the real deadly play is the original Blau combo of using this to get off a lot of attacks. 5 attacks in a turn, and it's definitely really, really nice. Especially with this deck, which runs heals, since the game is like designed to go longer because you have the heals in the deck. It's a lot better to use Mod, in my opinion, just because it lets you get off more attacks. Because every attack in this deck is taking something away from your opponent. because you're never really going to attack the rear guards in this deck unless you have to. So that's why I like Mon in this deck. And next we play 4 Galaxy Blau. My boy, you know what he does. Counter Limit Break 4, Counter Blast 2, discard 2 when he's Dragonic over at the end, but he also works with Blau rear guards. And now that every grade 2 in this deck is Blau, more chances for it to come off, and now that there's more Blaus, it's just a whole festival up in here, so don't ask. It's definitely a great deck to play, and if you're new to the game, this deck's pretty straightforward, and I definitely recommend you guys to build it if you could afford it. So on to the G Zone. We are playing 3 copies of Bustard. Now, since Novas still have a pretty mediocre first stride, and I don't have favorite champ Victor in this deck for now, I still like to run Bustard just for the sheer fact that he can withstand a rear guard on the first stride. Being able to stand Galaxy or Uranus for gaining 5k just to get off another attack could be quite nice until the second stride when all your stuff really gets into high gear. It's not until late game when Sonne Blaukluger really goes off, so sometimes you could take the damage early just so you could activate it, which I don't recommend doing all the time, but in certain matchups it's definitely better. But yeah, that's why we run Busted, so get off some attacks. And of course he can restand himself if you stood 2 units. Not really too important, most games end before that goes off, so yeah. As for playing 2 Meteor Kaiser Victor, this is really nice synergy with Venus Blaukluger being able to stand a unit and then Venus will stand itself to get off another booster or attack, because Venus doesn't have to stand when it's in the back row, right? So Venus you could also stand in the front row. So if you stand something with Victor that's not Venus, you could stand Venus and it'll still gain the 3k. So that's something to keep in mind when you're playing this deck. It's definitely a neat little play that you could do. And next, 4 copies of Victoplasma. Just, of course, is probably one of the strides that still needs to be a 4 of. If you know Novas, they don't really have any good stride pool yet, so you definitely just want to run him. Next for the G guards, you're playing 2 Blue Prison, just gain 5k shield. 1 Uner, being able to counter charge 2 and gain some shield, and if you have no soul charge 2 if you use Chariot. Definitely nice. Definitely good too. And 1 Dismal to protect the rear guards. So we play 3 copies of Sonne Blaukluger. Sonne Blaukluger, of course, is Counterblast 1 when he attacks and you have a hard card with Blau. You search your deck for a grade 3 Blau and add it to your hand. And then he gains the effect of Limit Break 5. At the end of the battle that he attacked, discard 3. Ride any grade 3. It doesn't have to be the one that you added. Return this card to the G Zone and then ride that grade 3. My bad. And then he's just so good. It's like a next stage for Blaus. And it does a lot more because of the Blau break rides that do a lot of that have a lot of utility plays and stuff that you could do. So yeah, it's pretty much all you have to say about Sonne. Just be careful when you use Galaxy and Mon, because Galaxy's effect activates on the first Blau that hits. So if you attack with your rear guards first and then they hit, you won't be able to activate Galaxy's skill. So just be mindful if you're new to playing this deck. And that's one of the reasons why I do like Valmon, and it's kind of the same thing because of Next Stage and Chrono Jet Dragon G. This deck's just a little bit less annoying. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. I'm so excited that I finally got this deck out to you guys. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.